Hi there, I'm James back with this week's growth tactic from the Growth Tactic series. Now, here's the idea that we're going to talk about this week. That's cross-selling versus upselling. Now, a lot of customers or clients will say, hey, isn't that the same thing? And they're not, they're different. And here's what I mean. Now, we'll define first upselling. Upselling is when someone calls in and says, you know what, I'm looking at your starter plan and I really like this particular feature. Or maybe they start a trial or they've on board with the starter plan. Your job, whether it be product features itself or sales conversation, is to help them understand the value gap between your middle tier or your third tier product and kind of how they can move from one to the other, right? So you might say, hey, we're going to get you started because it makes sense for you to start on starter, because that's why we call it starter. But I'm going to schedule a call in 30 days to see how it's going, because my experience is in about day 30, day 30, our customers tend to say, you know, I really wish I could do this other thing. And that's what is in the next plan up. And I want to walk you through that when the time comes. How does that sound to you? Now, I could just save you the trouble and give you that level plan now for whatever. So you can begin to use tactics to move people. But essentially at this point, you're taking a conversation where they came in wanting to spend X and you're moving to X plus 1 or X plus 2 to move them up and sell them into. Now, that's a great, great strategy if you're selling business to business, for example, and you just want to land and expand, okay? And one of my startups, we just sell a $49 product. And on average, we can generate about $150 per customer, because when we sell $49, kind of get that forward momentum. Then there's like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and move up, and let's start to kind of upsell them into some of the other capabilities and move them up plan. So in that scenario, we're landing the customer on a level that will meet their needs today, so that we can then create that tension and move them up to the next plan. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Now, the cross-selling, on the other hand, and the reason this is important, because this affects exactly what's in sales velocity under average deal size. What we're doing here is we're impacting the deal size. If I can move a customer from $10 to $20, I can double my daily activity if nothing else changes, by just increasing the sales value or the deal value within my sales process. Right now, sometimes this comes down to what's called, as I said, cross-selling. And that's where we're taking a customer, not only moving them up plan, but we may be selling it to other departments. So we're selling the same tool into other teams. If it's a larger company, for example, or organization, we might try to cross-sell. That creates some stickiness and generates higher levels of usage, maybe more license seats, but it also can be additional services. Okay. So in our case, we sell strategy, we sell training, we sell instructional videos, we sell additional features. So you can move up into a different plan, but then within that plan, you can do various add-ons, and that creates a larger ticket sell. We move customers then from $149 on average to like $180 or $185, whatever it is. Okay, so the idea is to land and expand through the upselling technique, and then to look at creative ways to cross-sell, either between teams or between maybe selling more license seats as more teams, or by selling more services, okay? Implementation services, by the way, if you're in a B2B, especially in an enterprise level, is where this is at, man. We have customers that will buy $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 worth of subscription software, $30,000 worth of utilization, but they'll spend $100,000 easily on implementation, because that's their big pain. That's their organizational bottleneck, okay? So just understanding that affects the deal size, and once you affect the deal size, you can begin to influence, of course, sales velocity. Now, I showed this last week. I want to just show it again, because it comes down to your ability in sales and in marketing, and as the CEO, to clearly articulate, who is my ideal customer? What is their chief complaint and pain? Is that the right pain for the right person? And how early am I communicating that in marketing? And am I tying that all the way back to the decision point, and even in how I activate and onboard them? And always, always, always fall in love with the problem, not the solution. Nobody cares about your solution. They care about their problem. The more you can articulate that, the better. I'm James with the Growth Executive. Scan that QR code, jump on a quick call, reply to this email, any number of ways. I want to be of service. I do these videos for you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.